So I've got two long SUVs here from GM in this SUV showdown. We've got a 2026 Chevy Suburban High Country here in black. Then we also have a 2026 Yukon XL Denali here also in black. I do also have to mention the Yukon, as we go through it, is going to have less options, but from a cosmetic point of view and interior and exterior point of view, I want to know what you guys think compared to, the Yukon and the Suburban. So whichever one you want to go with. So let's talk price. 2026 Chevy Suburban High Country, $126,917 Canadian. We've got the 2026 GMC Yukon XL Denali here, $117,820 Canadian. Now, having said that, the Yukon is missing, I would say, at least 10 grand options, but we'll start here with the Suburban at the front. For 26, they haven't really changed much, but the design was changed, I believe, in 25. You've got these really nice LED daytime running lights with LED lights. Now, as we carry over into the center here, it's got a lot of blacked out look with some kind of chrome around it. You've got the blacked out Chevy bow tie. You've got this kind of horizontal grille here. You've got parking sensors down below, camera actually right underneath to encompass your full 360 camera. And then we've got your fog lights down below. But overall, I got to say the Chevy Suburban, even the Tahoe, because the Tahoe is just the smaller version, looks similar. And I got to say the High Country looks fantastic. So that is really it here at the front of the Suburban. Now let's take a look at the GMC Yukon. So with the Yukon, you're going to get a little bit more chrome kind of in your face. We can see we've got the blacked out GMC name there. We've got C-shaped LED daytime running lights with LED lights. We've got your parking sensors down below here, as we can see on the bumper. You've got fog lights as well. But comparing these two together at the front, I can tell from the Yukon, you've got a lot more chrome, and I would say the grille is a lot bigger. But let me know in the comments, which one would you prefer out of these two specifically? Would you go with the Suburban or would you go with the GMC? I think personally, I like the Yukon front end a little bit better, but I gotta say the Suburban, well, even the Tahoe version or Suburban, I think the High Country looks really, really good. So let me know what you guys think. We'll take a look underneath the hoods here and go over the engines of choice. All right, so let's dive underneath the hoods of these SUVs. And again, we'll start with the Chev. So underneath the hood here, we've got the 6.2 liter V8. We got 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque mated to the 10-speed. Now, as we look over at the Yukon, we've got the same engine, the 6.2, 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque with the 10-speed. Now, having said that, the 6.2s have had their issues. In both these trucks, when you get into the higher trims, you can only opt for the 6.2, really. I believe you still can get the diesels. I know you can get the diesel in the GMC. I believe you can also get the diesel in the High Country as well. I mean, it's nice they give you a different option, but when you get into the higher trims, the 6.2 is the only option really you can get, or the diesel. Now, they still offer the 5.3 liter V8 in the lower trims, which is still a great engine, but if you're concerned a little bit more about the reliability of the 6.2, you still can get the diesel, or if you want to go into a lower optioned trim, you can get the 5.3. So that is really it underneath the hoods here of these SUVs. Let's take a look around the two and compare them, and then let me know what you guys think. So we'll take a look around the SUVs, and we'll start here with the Chevy Suburban. So we'll start here with the tire and wheel setup. So we're sitting on a really nice wheel, I'd say, 285/40 R24. So this is a 24-inch wheel, massive. I like the brushed aluminum face that they've done here. You've got a carpeted liner inside here. Now, it does sit on air suspension here as well. You got the High Country badge here on the side of the fender. You've got the blacked out mirror cap here, camera underneath, and then you've got the Suburban name right there. Now, I'll give you guys a side profile view of the SUV. And the Suburban's going to give you, I would say, at least a foot more of room. And that Yukon XL will give you the same amount of room. Now, the nice thing is you've got keyless entry on all four doors. And then you can also see there's some more chrome around on the door sill, and then there on that roof rack on top. Now, this one here is being like almost fully equipped, basically. It's got that power running board there, and then this is what the interior looks like on the High Country side of things. So we'll start with the door panel. It's all black. You got some wood trim here, lock and unlock here, window control, Bose speaker there. You got some storage compartments there, and then on the door sill here, we got the nice High Country badge. And then here's what that seat looks like. So it looks nice and plush. You got some brown perforation there, and then you've got the High Country stitch there in the headrest. Over here on top of the dash, we can see we've got some more wood trim, and then you got your lower glove box area, and then some nice perforation here with the High Country badge there. Pocket of storage in there, and then we'll go over on that side once we get over onto the driver side of things. You've got a handle here on the passenger, but as we can see, not on the driver. But honestly, this running board comes down a decent amount, so it is very easy to get in. And then here's what the back looks like. So that door panel opens up a decent amount. So if you got kids and stuff and you need more access to the back here without the door getting into the way, I would say it opens up a decent amount. So you've got better, entry into the vehicle. Now, as we can see, it's got some brown perforation here. You can move these, which we'll go over in a minute. You've got handles on both sides. You've got your screens here. And then inside here, you've got your own climate control. You only get heated seats back here. You got two HDMIs, a 120, cup holders, and then you also have this entry way to get into the back, which is nice. Now over here on the door sill, we can see we got the High Country badge, which is cool to note. And then you got your wood trim here, lock and unlock, some brown stitching as well, and then all of that nice perforation. So I gotta say the door panel looks nice. And then you got your Bose speaker there. So I will show you guys how I would get in here as someone who's about 5'10", 5'11". All right, so getting inside here, very easy. The running board comes down a decent amount, and this sitting on air suspension is going to lower that vehicle too. So that is also a nice thing to add. Now getting inside, very easy. You've got an armrest here. You've got your screens here. So if you got kids and they need to sit back here for a while, the seat's pretty comfy. Now, a couple things to note is you can move this seat forward and back. Very easy to do. You can actually recline it. Now, when you hold this and push it twice, the seat will come up, which I'll show you in a second. Now, there is a button here as well, which you can click and the seat will come forward, which I also will demonstrate. Now, to get into the back, very easy. You've got this entryway point here to get into the third row if needed. But I gotta say, honestly, it's pretty comfy. Headroom's not bad. Lights here, vents here as well. You've got a full moonroof too. Now, a couple things. You can push this twice and it will come up just like that. Very easy to do. And then you can push it down and then you can push it up and then you're going to have to just kind of move it a little further back. Now there's a button here on the side. Where'd it go? There it is. You can push it and it will do the same thing. But I don't think it, oh, well, it actually does come up. There you go. So I think you got to push it twice. That's how you do that. And then you also have this too, this manual lever, just in case. Now I'll show you guys the back here, the third row, and I'll show you guys how I get back in here. So having this entry point is very obviously easy. Now with the Suburban, you're going to get a decent amount of room back here compared to where this is. And you've got a USB-C plug here, cup holders, and then there's a little bit of an indent here for taller passengers, but I would say this is mostly for kids. The seat's not bad to actually sit back here. The headroom, like I said, is good. You got a vent here on both sides. So honestly, it's got a decent amount of room. And then I'll come out here to show you guys how I would get out. And I'll move this back. And then I'll put the seat back down so you guys can see. But very, very easy. Let me know what you guys think. Now that is it for the inside of the Suburban. And then here's a look at that extended window compared to the Yukon XL. And then here's also a look at that back tire and wheel. The wheel design and the wheel is huge, honestly. I like the design. You got the Chevy bow tie there. I'm surprised they're not in black. As you can see, they're in that gold color. You got the carpeted liner, and this back here does sit on air suspension. So that is it for a side profile view of the Suburban. Let's go take a look at that Yukon XL. So let's take a look around the Yukon Denali XL here. We'll start with the tire and wheel. So now, as you can see, this is sitting on a smaller wheel, so 275/60 R20. So there's a 4-inch difference compared to the Suburban's 24-inch wheels. But you might be able to get a better ride quality with a thicker sidewall. You've got brushed aluminum wheel, carpeted liner inside as well. And then this one here looks like it also is sitting on air suspension. We've got the GMC logo here, blacked out mirror cap with a light over here, and then a camera as well. And then I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a side profile view, but here's what it looks like from the side. You don't get a power running board on this one. You still can get a power running board, and you also can get bigger wheels. So I do want to mention that. This is more of like an entry-ish model Denali. It's like the perfect kind of limousine Denali, right? Lacking a little bit on options, but it is still the Denali trim, so you get the nice interior. But you can see also you get keyless entry on both doors, front and back. You've got that kind of chrome here on the door sill, and then on the roof rack as well. You also get a little bit more of that brushed aluminum look at the bottom. Now you also get some more here on the door handle. Now as we open this up here, here is what the interior of the Denali looks like. So this is where it's going to be mostly different compared to the Suburban. But here's what the door panel looks like, all soft touch here, lock and unlock. We got some wood trim as well, Bose speaker, Denali here on the door sill, and then this is what that seat looks like. So it is nice, soft, and plush, and it is all black. There is no other really color on the seats themselves or even the dash. You just get more of that wood trim here. And now I have to mention, this is the Denali. You can go up to the Denali Ultimate and get more of that brown if you want. You can see Denali stitched there in the seat. Here are your seat adjustments here. And then this is what the dash looks like. So like I said, more wood trim, lower glove box here. You got some storage there. So, you know, similar stuff compared to the Suburban. Now this one doesn't have the optional moonroof, again, which you can get. And then as we can see, it only has a handle here on the passenger side. But this is where we're going to get into the differences once we get over to the driver's side. Now, like I mentioned, this has a fixed running board, and some people may prefer that, but like I said, you still can get a power running board on the Denali. And here's what the back looks like. So same kind of design. You got all black here, so there's some perforation, but there's no brown. It's all black. You've got your seat adjustments here, which we'll get into. Denali there on the door sill. Here's what that door panel looks like. You know, you get the wood trim all black here, lock and unlock, bows down below. And then here inside is really the same. It's just these don't have screens in the back, but you've got heated seats. You got your cup holders there, climate control, a 110. Now you still can get screens back here, and like I said, you still can get the moonroof. But I will show you how I would get in here as someone who's about 5'10", 5'11". All right, so hopping into the Denali, I can definitely tell getting inside this one compared to that one. Since this is a fixed running board, it doesn't come down as much compared to the automatic one, but I mean, it is what it is. And then here you've got your handle, and getting in is very easy. Kind of feels the same, but honestly, I feel like the seats in the Suburban are just a little bit more comfier. It has the same controls, so you can move forward and back. You know, you can recline the seat if needed. This will also fold the seat down. You still get a button here behind the seat to fold it. You've got your cup holders here. You got that entry space here to help you get into the back. And yeah, this one doesn't have a moonroof, as we can obviously see. You got your vents here, but it's comfy. You know, I got a decent amount of room. I can see the leather is different. I feel like that's one thing I noticed, but I feel like the seats in that Suburban are a little bit more perforated and a little bit more plush. I do have to say, maybe it's just me, but I feel like that is something I noticed. Now, again, I'll just show you guys quickly here. This is how you move the seat forward and back, and then this is how you recline it and also put the seat up. So very easy. And then like I showed you guys as well, there is a button here on the side. So you can hold it, and it will come down. I think you gotta click it again. Yeah, and it'll come up just like that. And then here, I'll show you guys what it looks like in the back for a third row perspective. There we go. And then I will hop in here, and it feels basically the same. So I'll show you guys if I hop over on this side. Oh, got the headrest up here. Yeah, I mean, I would say the seats are a little bit more comfier in the Suburban. You still get the same plug. You get a USB-C. You've got cup holder here, vents as well. The vents here are circular, where in the Suburban, I noticed they're more like vertical. So they go this way instead of being circular. But I mean, same thing, honestly. Like, the seat just looks different, and I would say the seat is a little bit more plush in the Suburban. I noticed it definitely on these two seats. But that is really it for the back. Let me know what you guys think. I definitely like this entry point here. Obviously, if you have the seat down, you can still get access to this center here to navigate yourself to the back. But overall, that is really it. And then we'll put this down. I'll move this so you guys can see again. Put this down, and we'll push it up. Let me know what you guys think. So that is it for the inside of the Yukon XL. And then here's a look at that back tire and wheel. So same dimensions. So like I mentioned, you also get that thicker sidewall with it being only a 20-inch wheel, carpeted liner, and then you get the air suspension inside. And then here's a look at that back. With it being an XL, you're going to get at least a foot more room. But that is it for a side profile view on the GMC. Let's compare the back ends of the two SUVs. All right, so this is what the back of the Chevy Suburban looks like. And we'll start right here in the middle. We've got the blacked out Chevy bow tie. We've got the Suburban name there. We've got quad tipped exhaust tips, which I think look great. A little bit more of that brushed aluminum look. And then this is what the tail light looks like. So it's got like a smoked look to it. Now, a couple things to mention here is you can open the glass with a button right here underneath the end. Open it up, and then you got access to the back here. I also like the fact that both SUVs carry this spoiler to hide the wiper. Now you've got camera here, so you got two cameras. One is for your mirror, and one is for the back camera. Now we can open this up here just by clicking that button underneath there. Now both are pretty much going to be identical in the back here. They're both longer versions of the SUVs, so you got a little bit of storage in there, but this is where you're going to add more of that storage. You can put the seats down, so in the third row you can push them down, and you can also have them come up. So if you push these down, you're going to get an ample amount of room. And then in the middle row, you can push these and the seat will fold itself, but you can't actually have it come back up. And then also in the back here, you're going to get a little bit more of some speakers, and then you're also going to get a 120. But yeah, it's pretty much the same, I would say, in the Yukon, but I want to show you guys what it looks like. You got some brushed aluminum door sills here. Now to close it, all you do is push that button and it will close itself. I like the back of the Suburban. I think it does look pretty good, but that is it for the back here of the Suburban. Let's take a look at that Yukon. So in the back here of the GMC Yukon XL Denali, we'll start right here in the middle. And as we can see, there's a little bit more chrome here compared to the Suburban. We've got this kind of like brushed aluminum look there. So we got Denali here, GMC on the right, Yukon on the left. We've got the same quad-tipped exhaust with that chrome piece. So I would say like the bottom part of the bumper is identical. Parking sensors. Now here's one thing that's changed is you only get one camera. Since this SUV is not as loaded as the Suburban, again, you still can get it in the Denali. So that rear camera mirror, the camera is right here, but only this one has a rear camera as opposed to having the camera on the mirror, which I'll touch upon. Now you still get access to the back here with it being to the right of the eye on the Denali name. You've got access back here. And again, the wiper is hit up here into the spoiler, which I think is a nice clean look as opposed to having it just kind of like right here in the center. Now the back, like I said, looks good, but the difference is I would definitely say is this trim piece here and then the lights. For sure, I would say are pretty much the biggest differences. Now to open it up is the same. You still got an input here and you can put your hand in and open it up and it comes up automatically. Now you get the same amount of room back here, and honestly it looks, I would say, exactly the same. You've got that storage underneath here. You've got two kind of brushed aluminum pieces here. The seats fold down the same, so you can push this and the seat will fold down as well as the headrest, and then this here will fold that front seat just like that, and you'll have an ample amount of room. But it's going to be pretty much the same, you know, I would say cubic feet of space, but the design elements of the tailgates are going to be pretty much the differences. And then when you want to close it, you push the button, which is on the same side, and it will close just like that. I'm not too sure which back end I like more. Maybe the Suburban. I think the Denali Ultimate maybe a little bit more. I mean, it's probably the same. Let me know what you guys think about the two. But that is really it for the back of the tailgates. Let's take a look at those seats behind the driver and compare the two. I just want to thank Applewood GM here in Mississauga, Ontario. Go see my boy Zach. He'll hook you up with a great deal. All right, so let's go over quickly the backs here behind the driver. And it pretty much is the same, all soft touch here on the door panel. You know, you get that perforation on the door panel, wood trim here with some brown stitching. You've got lock and unlock here, window control, Bose speaker, high country there on the door sill. And here's what that seat looks like. So nice and plush, seat adjustments here. And then here's what that button looks like on the side to push the seat down. And then here inside, we can see we've got your HDMIs, USB-Cs, climate control, 110, and then your cup holders here at the top. And then here are your screens and your handles. So that is really it. Let's take a look over on that Yukon XL side. All right, so comparing the two and looking here behind the driver, honestly it looks pretty much identical. You've got just a different look of a leather here. You got some wood trim, soft touch here, lock and unlock, window control here, Bose speaker, Denali there on the door sill, and this is what that seat looks like. So all nice, soft and plush. Seat adjustments here, and then here's what that button looks like to push the seat down. And then inside here, cup holders, climate control, heated seats, only USB-Cs, because we do not have screens back here, which again you can get, and this one doesn't have that moonroof, which you can also get. You've got your handles here to help you get in. That's it for the back. Now this is where the differences are going to be, is in those front infotainments. All right, so looking inside the Chevy Suburban, this is where most of the differences are going to be once we get inside. So the door panel looks good, all soft touch here, wood trim, lock and unlock with memory seating, window and mirror controls here. The mirrors are power folding as well. You got your speaker there, high country there on the door sill, and then this is what that seat looks like, so soft and plush. You've got high country stitched on the headrest. You've got your seat adjustments, and then over here on the left side, you've got a lot of controls here. You got your 4x4 settings with your different drive modes. You've got your light controls here, and then you got your 360 camera button here, parking sensors, auto stop start, trash control, hill descent control. This truck will actually park itself, or this SUV, lane keeping assist, and then you got your trailer brake controller here. This is a telescopic steering wheel as well. But overall, I gotta say the interior looks pretty good. Now let's go take a look at that Yukon XL. All right, so looking inside the Yukon XL here, the Denali trim, all soft touch here. Again, that leather looks different, I would say. We got wood trim here, all soft touch, memory seating with lock and unlock, window and mirror controls here, and they are power folding mirrors. So I would say it's pretty identical. Denali here on the door sill, and then here's what that seat looks like. So soft and plush. You've got your seat adjustments there, and then over here is pretty much the same thing. I guess we're just missing the trailer brake controller, which would be right here, but same type of controls. Lane keeping assist, parking sensors, auto stop start, it will park itself, 360 camera button, and then there's your traction control. Here are your different drive modes, and then your lights, and then your parking brake left side of the steering wheel. So this is where most of the changes are going to be in. So let's go back to the Chevy. We'll go over the interior, and then we'll compare it to the Yukon. So we are inside the Chevy Suburban High Country, and we'll start with the steering wheel. We've got a leather wrapped steering wheel, as we can see. Super Cruise here at the top, which is controlled via these buttons over here. We've got your Ford collision alert, low mode, and then over here we'll control your front infotainment. We also have your heated steering wheel button on the right side, and then you can toggle through your different displays here by just clicking the button here, and it will toggle through depending on what you want. So you can even have your Google Maps there as well. So very, very easy to use. And then this here will control different, kind of commands here at the top. But overall, I would say it looks good. Now behind the steering wheel, you have your toggle for your wipers on the left side, and then here's your toggle for your transmission select. You've got paddles here at the back as well. Now you do have your heads-up display right there, and it is controlled inside the screen. Now in the trucks, you actually have the control over on the left side. I wish they kept that here on for the SUVs, but they did not. Now the heads-up display takes up a decent amount of room, but it is all soft touch here on the dash. You've got 3 speakers, so you got one here, one there on the dash. You've got some perforation there on the passenger side with the High Country badge. As we can see, the wood trim carries through over to here onto the driver's side as well. Now, here is the difference, what you're going to notice. The screen here is horizontally integrated as opposed to being vertical in the GMC. The screen works very well. It's just going to really come down, I think, to the user and what they want. Now, one thing that I wish they did is they put climate buttons. In the trucks for the Chevy and the GMC, they have physical buttons, but in the SUVs, they have it in the screen, which I wish they kept the buttons because I think most people would like it. Now, it does have all the same controls. It's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You've got your map settings here too, cameras, so you get different camera angles, and they are really good high quality cameras. It will park itself. You can put your climate controls on here. So you click climate, you can control your different climate settings. You can even control the rear climate. Now, you've got your controls button up here, and then you can go to your different displays. So like, your child safety locks, you can lock your camera screen. This is where you can control your HUD, so you can change your brightness, the height, and whatnot. Now, up top here, you're going to be your hotkeys, so you can connect your phone. You've got your maps here. You've got your audio. And I would say it's very intuitive, and the responsiveness is pretty good. Now, you do also have your hotkeys down here for your climate. So you got heat and ventilated seats. You can change your fan control here. You can also change the fan control right here if you need it. And then also your temperature gauges are here to control. Now, once you turn it, you can see it's changing right at the bottom. And then here's your home button with your volume. Now, that is really it for the screen. There's a ton of different options which you can go over, but that is really it. Now, down below here, we've got your wireless charging pad, and then we've got 2 plugs, USB, USB-C. Now, this doesn't close. This is always exposed. We've got here your cup holders, and then in the center here, we've got all soft touch perforation here with some brown stitching. This will open up, and then you've got, it looks like a decent amount of storage. However, this is something cool that GM did in their SUVs. So this here will actually move back. So you can push this here, and the console here will move back and allow you to have better storage down here. And then you have more storage there that you can pull out. This also gives better access to the back passengers. And then you can push this again, this little button, and it will shut just like that. So really cool that they do that. And then you can also close the back seats by pushing these buttons here. So you can push that and not close, but put it down. And then you can also push the seat back up by just pushing that button there. So a lot of cool options on this truck, SUV. Now up here as well in the Suburban, you do get that rear camera mirror in this one, which you also can get in that Yukon Denali, but it does not have it. But this is what it looks like if you do want to get it. Let me know what you guys think, but that's it for the Chev. Let's go take a look at that Yukon XL. So we are inside the GMC Yukon Denali XL here. We'll start with the steering wheel. We've got a leather wrapped steering wheel here, as we can see. We've got some more brushed aluminum here on the steering wheel with Denali there in the middle. We don't get Super Cruise on this one, which again, you can get on the Denali trim. We've got your cruise control settings here with Ford collision alert. And then here we've got your heated steering wheel with your different screen selection. So it basically gives you the same type of thing. You can scroll, on the different screens. And then this, obviously, the layout looks different. Now, when you go up into the Denali trim, so in the Denali Ultimate, you can get augmented reality, I believe, and also night vision. So night vision can be added on this truck, which is pretty cool. You've got your paddle shifters at the back here. If you put it, in sport mode or whatnot, you can use the paddles. On the left side of the steering wheel, we've got your toggle for your wipers. And on the right is your transmission select. Now over here, it's basically the same controls. Now this one does have a heads-up display. It is controlled via the screen, which we'll get into. And at the top here, I would say this is like a hard touch plastic with some black stitching, but you do get a storage compartment up here. You've got a speaker there and also a speaker over on that side. Nothing here at the top, but you do get some more wood trim in that lower glove box area. Now this is what the screen looks like in the Yukon side of things. It is vertically integrated, and I gotta say it's massive. It works pretty much the same way as the Suburban, but it looks a lot different. Again, no climate control buttons. I wish they put buttons down here for climate control, but unfortunately it's in the screen. But it works the same. You've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It will park itself. You've got your camera button here, and the camera angles are fantastic. It does have your volume setting right in the center. You've got your hotkeys for climate down here, heated and ventilated seats. You can control your rear climate and your front climate, and it's very intuitive. You've got your hotkeys here, so you can control different settings here if you want your maps, your audio, Google Assistant, and then you can put your maps on the full screen. And then there's your home button. Like I said, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's got Wi-Fi in there too. You can pay via OnStar. Very intuitive, works well. You've got your control button here. You can change your heads-up display there, so you can put your brightness up. You can change the height of it, all that kind of fun stuff. Now down here, you can actually close this to make it look a little bit more cleaner if you wish. You've got your cup holders, and then over here, you've got your wireless charging pad, USB, USB-C, and then as we can see, there's more wood trim on the side. Now as we carry into the center here, we've got the Denali there on the center console area, which looks good. As we lift it up, it does have that same type of capacity where this will come, back. So with this button up here, you can have this be pushed and you can have this pushed back. So really, really cool that they did that. So push that button and then this will come forward or back. And then you can also have the seats go up. So pushing that, you can have the seat go up. So same type of thing, or down, whichever you prefer. And then here, we'll push this up. There we go. So really cool that you can do that with the seats. Let's see here, we'll push that up and they work well. Now this one here doesn't have that rear camera mirror that the Suburban has. So this one here is just a regular mirror. With the Suburban, you're able to basically turn it on or off and be able to look out back. So that's also a cool thing. But this is what the Yukon XL looks like on the Denali trim. Let me know what you guys think about the two SUVs, but we'll go outside and give you guys the pricing and my final thoughts. All right, so let's talk price. 2026 Chevy Suburban High Country, $126,917 Canadian. We've got the 2026 GMC Yukon XL Denali here, $117,820 Canadian. Now, having said that, the Yukon is missing, I would say, at least 10 grand options. You can get the power running boards, you can get the nicer wheels, a moonroof, the rear camera mirror, and all that jazz. But from just a style standpoint, what do you guys think? Would you go with the Suburban over the Yukon, or would you rather go with the Yukon over the Suburban? Curious to know what your thoughts are. That concludes this review, guys, and this head-to-head. Check out up here my other head-to-heads in this playlist. I've done other HD trucks, and then also a Yukon Denali Ultimate with a Cadillac Escalade. And a lot of people honestly surprised me. They'd probably rather go with the Yukon, even though the Escalade's the same price. But that concludes this review, guys. In comparison, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.